So today we are going to do lesson number 3, which is a multi-step equations. That is continuation from yesterday's lesson. So let's try to take a look at number 1 first. So a question is solve and check the following equation. Now, as you can see, we have a bracket. Now, in order to get rid of the bracket, you have to distribute whatever's in front of a bracket. So in this case, for the first bracket, I have negative in front of. So it's actually -1, invisible 1. So we will distribute twice. And then in front of this bracket, we have -7 in front of this bracket. So -7 times x, -7 times 2. So let's go down. So it's -2x minus 1 equals -7. So -7 times x is -7x, and -7 times +2 is going to give me -14. And you will notice that we can simplify on the right side before I move things around, because I have -7, a number, and a number. So when I collect the like term, when I subtract the two, I get -21. And then after that, we are going to collect the like term. So I'm going to bring -7x to the left side, and then -1 to the right side. So every time you move things over, you do the opposite sign. So on the left side, I already have -2x, and it becomes +7x. And on the right side, I already have -21. And -1 will finally become +1, opposite sign. So therefore, I get 5x equals -20. Now, what's in front of x? 5. So whatever it's in front of x, we divide completely by that number. So therefore, x is equal to -4. Now, how do I make sure that my solution is correct? Well, left side and the right side. So on the left side, I have -2x plus 1. And on the right side, I have -7, x plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in x as -4. And same thing on the right side. -4 plus 2. So on the left side, it looks like I have -8 plus 1. So -7. But negative becomes positive, so 7. On the right side, I have -7 minus 7. So I'm going to do the BEDMAS, brackets first. So -4 plus 2 is -2. And don't forget, these are multiplying, right? -7 times -2 is +14, right? And then when I add it, 7 and 7. So therefore, your solution is correct. But just to double check, we have to say left side is equal to the right side. So it is indeed correct. Now, what about a word problem like number 2? So for number 2, it says write an equation in terms of one variable. A basketball player scores 28 points in a game. She scores 35% of the total team points. How many points does her team score in total? So then, like I said, your question should tell you what the let statement is going to be. So we're going to say let T represents the number. It says how many, but we could say let T represents the number of points her team scored in total, because that's what it's asking. So if she scored 35% of means multiply. So 35% of the total is equal to 28. So we don't like a percentage in an equation, so we always divide it by 100. So make it into a number, so 0.35. T equals 38. The reason is because 35%, they're going to divide it by 100%, so you get 0.35. And now to isolate for T, we have 0.35 in front of T, so it cancel and cancel. So therefore, T, when you divide it, you're going to get 80 points. Okay, so therefore, her team scored 80 points in total. And because it's a word problem, make sure you end with the sentence. Okay. Now, what about a question like letter B? So Liam sells sandwiches at an arena. So he earns $10.50 per hour plus 40 cents for each sandwich he sells. So the question is, how many sandwiches does he need to sell during the 6-hour shift to earn $125? The question is asking how many sandwich. So we could say let N represents not how many, number of sandwiches that Liam needs to sell during 6-hour shift to earn $125. So now that we understand this, so it looks like, let's see, so 125 is the total that he wants to earn, right? But that's gonna require $10.50 per hour, but we know what hour is going to be. So let's just write H for now, plus 0.40 cents per sandwich. So sandwich is N. But we do know that the hour, we don't have to write H because he's going to work for 6 hours. So I'm going to write down 10.50 times 6 plus 0.40 N. So I could simplify this further. So when I multiply these two, I guess 125 equals 63 plus 0.4 N. And I'm going to collect the like terms by bringing the 63 to the left side. I want to put numbers together. So 125 will now become negative 63. And on the right side, I only have this. So when I subtract, I get 62 equals 0.4 N. And now we know that we don't want anything in front of N. So I'm going to divide both sides by 0.4 N. So it cancels out. So therefore, N is equal to 155. So what does that really mean? Well, Liam needs to sell 155 sandwiches in order to earn 125. Okay. Now, so you will try letter C. What about, let's try letter D. So the perimeter of a rectangle is 58 centimeter. Okay. So we know P is equal to 58. If the length is 5 centimeter longer than the width, find the rectangle's dimensions. So it's asking for rectangle's dimensions. So our let statement should be let W be the width and let, but we have to use a single variable. So if this is the width, this is going to be the length. But in the question, we know that the length is, so length is 5 centimeter longer. So it must be 5 plus the width. So 5 plus W. So we don't need another let statement. because we're only using one variable. So we know that 5 plus w is the length, and we know that the perimeter is length plus w plus w. And we can plug in length, which is 5 plus w plus 5 plus w, and then plus w plus w. And we know the perimeter is 58. So it looks like we can collect the like terms, so 5 and 5, which is 10. And then we have w, 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 four of them. So I get 4w equals 58. And I want to move 10 to the left side so that I collect the like terms. So 58 minus 10 equals 4w. I get 48 equals 4w. And divide completely by whatever it's in front of w. So 4. So 48 divided by 4 is 12. Okay, so therefore the width is 12 centimeter, and the length, we know that it's 5 plus w. So 5 plus 12, I'm going to get 17. So the length is 17 centimeter. And that's how you end with a sentence. Now for lesson number 4, it's same thing. We're going to solve for equation, but it's going to involve fraction. Okay? So it's actually quite simple once we know how to find the lowest common denominator by multiplying the both terms. Okay? So let's try number 1a. So in this case, solve each equation. So when you have like a fraction equals a number, my recommendation for you is make it always over 1. There's invisible 1. So if it's just one, like fraction equals fraction, I would recommend that you cross multiply. So on the left side, I will have 1 times x equals, on the right side, I have 4 times negative 10. After you crisscross, so then 1x, which is x, is equal to 4 times negative 10, so negative 40. And that's how your final answer will look. So same thing for letter B. When you have just a fraction equals fraction, I would recommend that you cross multiply. So on the left side, I have 5 times x, 5x, equals 10 times 3. And now in front of x, we have 5. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. So therefore, x is equal to 6. So it's quite easy when you have just a one fraction equals one fraction, because all you need to do is cross multiply to get rid of the denominator. But on the other hand, if you were to get a more than one fraction, so right now you have two terms, you have an expression and a number, then what you need to do is I would recommend that you make a lowest common denominator. Okay? Or what you could do is collect the like terms. So in this case, you could bring negative 1 to the right side, right? Because I have a number. So we have 2x over 3 equals negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 5. And when you just have a number, always just make it over 1 because there's invisible 1. And after that, you cross multiply. So on the left side, I have 1 times 2x equals 3 times negative 5. So 2x is equal to negative 15. And therefore, x is equal to negative 15 over 2. And that is your final answer. Now let's try the next one, letter D. So same thing, you can move negative 1 over 2 to the right side. But let's say I did not want to do that. Well, all you need to do is find the lowest common denominator. So look at the denominator, we have 3 and 2. So you multiply the 2, which is 6. So therefore, I know that I'm going to multiply everything by 6. So multiply this by 6, multiply this by 6, and this by 6, all three terms. So what I would recommend, you do 6 times 4y is 24y over 3, minus 6 times 1 is 6 over 2, and then there's no fraction here, so 6 times 4 is 24. Now, all you need to do is just divide. So 24 divided by 3 is 8y, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3 equals 24. And I'm going to bring negative 3 to the right side. So 8y equals 24 plus 3, 27. So y is equal to 27 over 8. So after you find the lowest common denominator, the key idea is that you multiply to all the terms and you multiply to the numerator. And then after you divide by the denominator, so you get rid of the fraction. Okay, let's try one more. Number 2. Solve and check. So I can't do crisscross here because I have like 2 terms and 2 terms on the left side and right side. So what I would do is I would find the lowest common denominator. So it looks like I have 3, 2, and 4. And a number that goes into, for all 3 of them will be 12, right? 3 goes into 12, 2 goes into 12, and 4 goes into 12, right? So all you need to do is 3 times 4. So after you find the lowest common denominator, multiply. So I'm going to write 12, 12, 12, and 12 for all 4 terms. So let's multiply to all numerator. So 12 times 2n is 24n over 3. And then 12 times 1 is 12n over 2. So this one, 7 doesn't have a fraction. You just multiply 7 times 12, which is 84, plus 36 over 4n. Okay. Now, you're going to do the division. 24 divided by 3 is 8n, minus 12 divided by 2 is 6n, 84, and 36 divided by 4 is 9n. So just by dividing, you get rid of the fraction. Now, I can simplify this. And I'm going to collect like terms by bringing positive 9n to the left side. So it will become negative. So negative 7n equals 84. And divide both sides by negative 7, so n is equal to negative 12. Okay. And then for same thing, for check, all you need to do is make a table. Left side equals right side. And then you're going to plug in 2 times negative 12. Instead of writing n, you're writing 12, negative 12, minus 2 over negative 12. And then for the right side, 7 plus 3 over 4, negative 12. So therefore, negative 24 over 3. You get negative, negative becomes positive. So positive 12 over 2. And on the right side, so 3 times negative 12 gives me negative 36. Oh, negative 36 over 4. So I could simplify this. So it becomes negative 2. And same thing, 7 minus 9. So you get negative 2. So it looks like we did it correct. So left side is equal to right side. And you have double checked it.